Welcome to the AP Physics C Prep course for Don Bosco Technical Institute. This presentation is for Day 1, Part 1, Class Overview. The most important thing to do at this point is to register. You must register for this course in order to receive a grade, in order for there to be any record whatsoever of you taking the class. So you register for this class in the same way that you would register for any other summer school class. You can download the high school summer school registration form from boscotech.edu, and that includes on the last page it will include a checkoff box for this particular class as well as the associated tuition. You can then deliver or mail your registration and tuition to Bosco Tech. There is the address. Doing so will ensure that this class will show up on Net Classroom, our online gradebook, and that you will receive the appropriate credit for this class. Alright, a note on this word that I use throughout the class called sessions. So this is a 3-week class, and the standard term for Bosco Tech Summer School is 6 weeks. So this is a 3-week class, which is part of a 6-week summer school, and in order to accommodate a diverse array of summer schedules, the class is repeated twice. So each of these repetitions of the class is called a session. So within the 6-week summer school, there are 2 sessions for this class. You only need to take 1 session. However, it's generally to your benefit to take the first session, because if you do not pass the first session, you can try again in the second session. So if you want, you can treat the second session as a do-over if the first session didn't work out so well. A few other rules. First of all, integrity. Now, this is an online course, and the limited amount of interaction that we have means that, quite frankly, it is more difficult to enforce integrity in this class. However, my expectations of integrity, that you present your own work, that you give credit where credit is due for other people who helped you out, those sorts of things, basic ideas of honesty and academic integrity are the same as in an in-person course. Grading. 30% of your grade is going to be homework, 70% of your grade is going to be tests. Grade will be posted on Net Classroom just like any other class at Bosco Tech. The requirement to pass this class is a 70% or higher, just like any other class at Bosco Tech. But just to let you know, this is a very basic calculus class. This class should not be that hard. And so if you're just barely passing this class, you should reconsider taking AP Physics during the regular school year, because the actual AP Physics class is much more difficult and much faster paced than this particular class. Materials. Obviously, you are required to have internet access via a computer or tablet. In a pinch, you could watch these videos via a smartphone, but the screen size and resolution for a smartphone is just not quite there for a lot of the videos that we're showing. A lot of the videos will involve some finer print and a lot of content on one frame of video, and so if you actually have a physically larger screen, it's much easier to see that higher level of detail. In spite of this being online, you will still need some paper and pencil items, simply because working out calculations on a computer is not nearly as easy as it is with a pen and paper. So you will still need a printer. And the excuse that my printer broke or my printer was out of ink is not an acceptable excuse. So one of the first things you should do as soon as you're done watching this series of videos is to check to make sure that your printer is fully functional, that you've got a few spare ink cartridges, that sort of thing. Now, once you fill out whatever assignment you're doing, typically homework, on paper, you'll need to redigitize it in order to get it back to me. So you will need a means of digitizing paper. The best way to do this is with a scanner. The second best way to do this is with a digital camera. Scanners produce very high quality images of paper. Digital cameras can produce high quality images of paper, but it depends a lot on the skills of the photographer. So, if you can take good pictures of your homework and send them to me, that's fine. If you take blurry pictures, if your hands aren't as steady as they should be when you turn in your homework, if the lighting's not as good as it should be, then that's your fault. So, maybe after you're done checking your printer, take a few trial pictures with whatever digital camera you plan to use. If it's a smartphone camera, that's fine. Smartphone cameras have gotten really good over the past few years. So, whatever you use, practice before you really need it. Optional but recommended materials. You will need the software and hardware to support online help sessions. I'll have both online and in-person help sessions, but the online help sessions will use some sort of collaborative online forum like Skype or GoToMeeting. I've not yet thoroughly researched this enough to decide on one platform or another, and I will let you know about this as soon as I've made these arrangements. No textbook is needed for this class. However, for the actual AP Physics class, we use Halliday and Resnick's Principles of Physics. Okay, communication and getting help. Since we don't actually show up in the same place at the same time the way we would with a regular class, you'll need to be a little bit more clever in terms of getting help. So most communication for this class will be via email. You need to check your email account daily and feel free to email me if you have any questions. Typical turnaround time for questions received via email is 24 hours, although if you happen to catch me at a time when I am free, I'll be happy to reply to you much faster than that. There'll be some sort of interactive help session every Thursday from 2 to 4 Pacific time. As I mentioned with the online help sessions, details on this will follow. Class format. A website for this is under construction but not yet ready to be shown to you guys. At the very least, it'll just consist of all the downloads that you need just in case you miss something via email. Handouts. The handouts will be emailed to you, or generally speaking, file distribution will be handled via email. You really should print these out before viewing the playlist so that you have whatever notes or other materials you need. Also, if the playlist goes haywire, if your connection gets dropped or something like that, you have all the URLs you'll need to pick up where you left off. You'll also need a playlist of instruction, or you'll receive a playlist of instructional videos for each day. These playlists will all be YouTube videos. Some of the videos will include practice problems, whether that's my videos or somebody else's. There'll be some practice problems, and you might have to pause the video in order to do these. Also, there are some what are called Khan Academy modules, which are basically just practice problems in a web page format. You do not have to turn in these practice problems. You do have to turn in homework, and the homework will be emailed out to you with all the handouts. But the practice problems are just that. They are practice. And besides, they're usually followed by answers anyway, so it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for me to deal with that. You should expect to spend 60 to 90 minutes of each day viewing the videos. However, I'm going to show you a trick to shorten that up at the end of this, in the next video. Today's video playlist will run a little bit long because of this orientation slide, this orientation presentation. So I mentioned homework on the last slide. Let me go into a little bit more detail on that. You'll get homework every day, and you should expect to spend 60 to 90 minutes on this homework assignment. On the days with longer presentations, I'll try to make the homework shorter. On the days with shorter presentations, you should expect more homework. The homework is due via email at 11:59 p.m. the next day. That is the day after it is assigned. Would not be realistic for me to expect you to turn in homework on the day that it is assigned. Homework turned in 1 day late will get 50% credit. Solutions will be posted 2 days after the homework is assigned. So, for example, the homework assigned at the end of today's lesson will receive full credit if it is turned in by 11:59 p.m. on day 2. It will receive 50% credit if it is turned in by 11:59 p.m. on day 3. It will receive no credit if it is turned in any later than that. You are expected to print out any homework, do the homework, and then digitize your response via scanning or photography. Then email those digital files to me at this address, etom@boscotech.edu. Tests. There will be 3 tests, and they will basically take place every Friday. Test 1 will be on day 5, Test 2 will be on day 10, Test 3 will be on day 15. Topics for each test are listed over here. They probably do not mean a whole lot to you because you will have had limited exposure to these, but that's the basic topics. Tests are taken in person. You can arrange a time with me to meet at me at Bosco Tech to take the test. If you have a job, hopefully you can arrange to get off a little early, but I can arrange to stay fairly late at Bosco Tech every Friday. So if you have to work till 5 o'clock and and you can get here at 5:30, maybe 6 o'clock, take the test, and then go home, that would be okay. If you are unable to come to DBTI, if you're out of town or something like that, let me know and I may be able to accommodate you. Let me know the details of how extensive your absence will be, etc., and what kind of arrangements you have to make. And I'll try to work with you. All right. In general, some reflecting this idea of integrity that I talked about earlier, I did not create all the stuff for this class. So not all the content of this class is original content. In particular, the first 2 lessons will include YouTube videos from Khan Academy and another pretty good resource called passcalculus.com. Other sources will be acknowledged as they come up. Okay, now this orientation has been what's going on 13 minutes right now, and generally speaking, when I'm recording a video, I talk much slower than a little slower than I need to. So I can be a little long-winded. I appreciate that you might want to speed up my videos, and so the next video is exactly how to do that. It's how to watch YouTube videos at double speed, and if you happen to hit a spot that's a little more difficult, this same process actually shows you how to slow down a video as well. So this is a sort of technical point that I'm covering next, and it can help speed up your comprehension and help you get through some of those slower parts more quickly. There's a URL right here, but generally speaking, you should not need this URL because this video will start automatically if you're using the AP Physics C Prep Day 1 playlist.